When you grow old, if your children don't respect or ignore you, stay calm and do this. Have you ever paused and wondered, when exactly did things change between me and my children? You've poured your heart and soul into raising them, changing countless diapers, enduring sleepless nights, and navigating life's ups and downs alongside them. You've sacrificed weekends, holidays, and even your own dreams so theirs could flourish. Yet now, when you speak, they interrupt. When you offer advice, it seems to bounce right off them. And when you ask for help, they're suddenly too busy. Worst of all, perhaps, is that painful feeling of invisibility, as if you're no longer seen or valued the way you once were. If this resonates with you, please understand that you're far from alone. Many parents reach a point where the roles they cherished shift in unexpected ways. You were once their protector, teacher, and the one they sought out for guidance. But now, it might seem like they've started viewing you as more of an inconvenience than a source of wisdom, or worse, a burden. This subtle shift can leave a deep emotional wound, prompting feelings of sadness, frustration, or even resentment. In these moments, the instinct might be to demand recognition, to remind them of your sacrifices, or to react angrily in hopes of reclaiming lost respect. However, as tempting as those responses might feel, they rarely deliver the results you seek. Instead, there's another path, one defined by quiet strength, clear boundaries, and genuine self-respect. Today, we'll explore how you can regain the respect and appreciation you deserve, not through arguments or guilt trips, but by adjusting your behavior in simple yet powerful ways. These practical, dignified shifts in perspective and action can profoundly transform how your children perceive and interact with you. It's about rediscovering and honoring your own worth, and in doing so, naturally inspiring your children to do the same. Stop chasing approval. Seeking constant approval can unintentionally signal to your children that your worth depends entirely on their acceptance. The harder you strive to please, bending your own needs to accommodate theirs, the less they genuinely respect you. It's not that your children are deliberately ungrateful or uncaring. Rather, human nature often subconsciously values individuals who assert their own worth clearly and confidently. When you consistently yield, always accommodating or agreeing just to maintain peace, your voice gradually fades into the background. Consider Margaret's story, a mother who deeply cherished her 3 children. As she grew older, she found herself constantly compromising, allowing them to make decisions about her home, health, and finances. She believed these sacrifices would maintain family harmony, thinking, "I just want to keep us all together." However, rather than fostering closeness, her constant yielding taught her children that her opinions and preferences mattered less. Margaret's voice lost weight, her presence became easy to overlook, and respect slowly faded away. The lesson here is critical. Respect isn't gained through endless sacrifice. It grows naturally from self-respect. Setting clear boundaries doesn't mean you're harsh or selfish. It means you honor your own well-being alongside that of your family. It means confidently saying no when needed and affirming your needs without guilt. The more you demonstrate self-respect through clear, loving boundaries, the more your children will instinctively value and appreciate you. Not out of obligation or guilt, but out of genuine admiration. Start today by gently asserting yourself in small, meaningful ways. You don't need permission from anyone else to do so. Let your children see that your time, your opinions, and your feelings matter as much as theirs. In doing so, you'll quietly but powerfully inspire them to respond with the respect and dignity you deserve. Respond calmly instead of arguing. When your children speak to you disrespectfully or dismiss your ideas, your first instinct might be to react defensively or angrily, demanding recognition for all you've done. While this emotional reaction is understandable, it rarely achieves the desired outcome. Anger or defensiveness often escalates tension rather than resolving the core issue, causing your children to further withdraw or become resistant. Instead, responding with calm, measured confidence can be far more effective. It demonstrates emotional strength, clearly communicating that disrespectful behavior won't provoke you or undermine your self-worth. Take Frank, for example, a retired teacher known for the respect he earned from decades of students in the classroom. Ironically, his own adult children regularly interrupted him, dismissed his opinions, and even mocked his suggestions. Initially, Frank responded with heated arguments, hoping to assert his authority and demand the respect he deserved. However, each confrontation only worsened their relationships and deepened their disconnect. Realizing his approach wasn't working, Frank decided to change his response. Instead of arguing back, he began speaking calmly, sharing his views without needing to prove himself right. He refused to raise his voice or react emotionally, maintaining his dignity and composure. Surprisingly, this simple shift had a profound impact. His children noticed the change immediately. Over time, they began listening more carefully, treating him with greater respect, and genuinely valuing his presence. Frank's story illustrates a powerful truth. Respect isn't something you can demand. It's something you inspire through your own behavior. Let your calm become your power. Allow your quiet confidence to communicate your worth clearly and consistently. By choosing not to engage in arguments or defensive exchanges, you demonstrate to your children that your peace and dignity are non-negotiable, inspiring their genuine respect. Cultivate emotional independence. Many parents unintentionally tie their emotional well-being directly to their children's actions and approval. It's natural. You've spent years nurturing and guiding them, and their affection can feel like the ultimate validation. But there's a crucial truth here. Relying too heavily on your children for emotional fulfillment actually erodes their respect. When you depend excessively on their attention or appreciation, the dynamic shifts negatively, causing them to withdraw or feel pressured. Emotional independence doesn't mean loving your children less. It simply means finding happiness and purpose outside of their actions or reactions. It's about building a rich and meaningful life that doesn't depend entirely on whether your children call, visit, or acknowledge your sacrifices. Consider Helen's experience. After her children grew up and moved away, she found herself heartbroken and lonely, anxiously waiting by the phone for their calls. When her outreach became frequent and desperate, her children began pulling away, feeling burdened rather than connected. One day, Helen decided to shift her focus. Instead of waiting for her children's approval or attention, she prioritized herself. She joined a dance class, reconnected with old friends, rediscovered her hobbies, and embraced life fully. Remarkably, as Helen's joy and fulfillment grew, her children noticed. Their calls and visits became more frequent, not out of guilt, but out of genuine interest and respect. They saw her as someone with a vibrant life of her own, someone admirable and inspiring. Helen's transformation highlights how emotional independence naturally attracts respect and admiration. When your children see you confidently living a full life, independent of their validation, they inherently respect you more deeply. This emotional shift doesn't happen overnight, but it begins the moment you choose to nurture your own happiness. Remember, your worth doesn't come from how your children treat you, it comes from within. And when you cultivate that internal strength and joy, you create a foundation for true, lasting respect. Set and maintain healthy boundaries. One critical yet often overlooked key to earning respect from your adult children is establishing clear, healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not about building walls or pushing people away. They're about clearly communicating what behaviors you will and won't accept. Too often, parents allow disrespectful actions, such as constant interruptions, dismissive comments, or unappreciated demands, to continue unchecked, hoping to avoid conflict. Unfortunately, silence in these moments sends the wrong message, suggesting such behavior is acceptable. Consider Robert's experience. He was a respected retired businessman admired professionally but treated differently at home. His grown children regularly interrupted him mid-sentence, disregarded his opinions, and spoke to him disrespectfully. Initially, Robert chose to overlook these moments, thinking they were minor incidents or signs of his children's stress. But each ignored instance slowly chipped away at his dignity, until a particularly hurtful exchange finally prompted him to act. Robert calmly but firmly set new expectations. He made it clear that disrespectful conversations would end immediately. He would simply remove himself. He didn't argue or threaten. He clearly communicated his standard of behavior and stood by it. Over time, his children recognized that if they wanted Robert's participation, respect was necessary. Gradually, the dynamic shifted. Conversations became more respectful, interruptions less frequent, and his children genuinely began appreciating his input. Robert's story underscores the importance of boundaries. They aren't about controlling others, but rather clarifying how you expect to be treated. When you establish healthy, firm limits, you quietly but powerfully teach your children that your time, energy, and respect are valuable and must be earned. This clarity naturally fosters respect, not through demands or confrontation, but through dignity, strength, and consistency. By respectfully and clearly asserting your boundaries, you create space for deeper, healthier, and more mutually fulfilling relationships. Stop giving unconditionally without appreciation. Another essential step toward reclaiming respect is recognizing the pattern of constantly giving without receiving appreciation. As parents, giving is instinctual and heartfelt. You freely offer your time, energy, resources, and support, often without expecting anything in return. While generous and loving, this approach can inadvertently teach your children to expect your help without valuing it. Over time, your continuous generosity may become so routine that your efforts go unnoticed, leaving you feeling unappreciated or taken for granted. Consider George's experience. George, a devoted father, always put his children's needs first. Even into his 70s, he rearranged appointments, lent money, and dropped everything to help his grown children without hesitation. However, when George underwent minor surgery, none of his children offered to support him, each claiming they were too busy. This deeply hurt George, prompting him to reconsider his unconditional generosity. George didn't become resentful. Instead, he made a deliberate change. He began setting clear conditions for offering help, responding calmly with, "I'd love to help, but I have plans that day," or "I'm available if you can assist with certain things." Initially, his children felt surprised, even irritated. But soon, they started appreciating George's help more deeply because it was no longer guaranteed or taken for granted. This change illustrates a critical lesson. Generosity without boundaries can unintentionally diminish respect. Healthy giving involves clear expectations and genuine acknowledgement. By stepping back slightly and allowing your absence to be felt, your presence gains value. You teach your children the importance of appreciation and reciprocity. You don't need to stop being kind, just become clear. Let your generosity have boundaries. Your children will begin seeing your support as valuable again, not simply expected. By gently asserting this shift, you'll restore respect and appreciation, enriching your relationship and ensuring your kindness is genuinely valued. Build your own identity beyond parenting. As parents, it's easy to allow our identities to become entirely intertwined with the roles we play for our children. For years, you've prioritized their needs, celebrated their milestones, and supported their dreams, often setting aside your own aspirations in the process. While this devotion is rooted in love, there's a subtle risk that emerges when your identity becomes defined solely by parenting. Eventually, your children grow up, forging independent lives, and you're left grappling with a sense of emptiness or loss of purpose. This is precisely why it's essential to nurture an identity beyond your role as a parent. Living a rich, fulfilling life beyond parenting isn't just beneficial, it's necessary. Embracing your own passions, interests, and dreams creates an authentic sense of purpose and vitality. Whether it involves picking up a new hobby, engaging in community activities, reconnecting with old friends, or even traveling to places you've always wanted to see, your personal growth profoundly impacts your relationships. When your children observe you as someone confidently leading an interesting and meaningful life, it naturally invites their genuine respect and admiration. They no longer see you solely as a parent, but as a dynamic, fully realized individual. Moreover, building your own identity reinforces an essential message to your children. Life is an ongoing journey of discovery, and self-worth isn't derived exclusively from family approval. By investing in yourself and your happiness, you set a powerful example, inspiring your children to value and respect you not out of obligation, but from genuine admiration. You're demonstrating that you are a vibrant individual with dreams and goals of your own. In doing so, you foster healthier, deeper connections based on mutual respect and appreciation, not merely on family roles or past sacrifices. This transformation isn't just beneficial for you, it strengthens your entire family's dynamic, enriching your interactions in profound and lasting ways. Conclusion. Respect isn't something you can demand from your children. It's something you inspire through your actions, boundaries, and self-worth. By choosing to prioritize your own well-being, calmly asserting yourself, and nurturing a life that fulfills you beyond your role as a parent, you naturally command genuine respect and appreciation from your family. It's never too late to reclaim your dignity and establish healthier relationships built on mutual respect, rather than obligation or sacrifice. Remember, your worth isn't measured by the sacrifices you've made or by how your children currently treat you. Your value exists inherently within who you are today. Taking small but powerful steps, like saying no when needed, setting gentle yet firm boundaries, responding calmly to conflicts, and pursuing your own interests can transform your family dynamic profoundly. Your children will start noticing your quiet strength and confidence, prompting genuine admiration and respect. If this journey feels daunting, remember you don't need to achieve perfection overnight. Begin with small, manageable steps, prioritizing yourself, asserting your voice respectfully, or simply pursuing something that genuinely brings you joy. Over time, these small actions accumulate into significant change, altering not only how your children see you but how you view yourself. You are worthy of respect, appreciation, and dignity. Not because of what you do for others, but simply because you are you. Embrace your own value, stand tall in your truth, and let your calm, self-assured presence inspire your children. This path may feel unfamiliar at first, but it will ultimately lead to healthier, more rewarding relationships, filled with mutual respect, genuine appreciation, and meaningful connection.